Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors Week 13 runoffs here at Sebring International Raceway. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Adam Hayfield with Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV. Adam, it's the runoffs. It's one of my favorite events in all of Week 13. We get 2 for 1. We get 2 for 1 massive broadcast, 2 big grid races leading off with Formula V's and the SRF drivers here today. How are you feeling about today, and what are you looking forward to?
Hi Austin, hi Jonathan, hello to everyone at home. Well, I'm just looking forward to every little element of this racing tonight. Obviously, me, myself and Tim have spent 12 weeks watching these guys in the Spec Racer Ford every Sunday night. We've got something new tonight with this runoff series. 2 different cars out there, starting with the Formula V's and then the Spec Racer Fords to finish the night out. I'm just interested to see the different dynamics. We're going to have obviously these Formula V's showing us how close they can get to racing, and then the Spec Racer Ford guys who do this week in and week out, the true pros of panel bashing and door-to-door action. So I'm interested to see just how close they finish tonight, because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, both are Weekend Warriors leagues. The Saturday league, the Formula V Weekend Warriors, they don't have a broadcast on Apex Racing TV. I don't believe they have a broadcast anywhere else that I could find, but they come in every Saturday, and they do the same big grids like the Spec Racer Fords do on Sunday here on Apex Racing TV, which is a fantastic series as well. And highly suggest y'all go watch those, because those are some of the most crazy races that I have ever seen and competed in. But right now, we got the Formula V's, these small rookie cars here on iRacing. Very small, compact, but hey, they can pack a punch, and they can really set you out. No wings, no aerodynamics, all mechanical grip, and how you know how to set up the car. Open setups for everybody here. So, you know, some drivers are racing with the iRacing baseline. Some of them have their own set, and some of them have found little tweaks to the car that really makes it work out for them. And some familiar names from the SRF Weekend Warriors here. Thortulo is out there right now. We're looking at a few other drivers as, you know, we're still in lone qualifying.
Yeah, these cars, the previous new open wheeler, obviously this week, week 13, iRacing have released their new Formula 4 car, which I've been enjoying driving. But up until now, this was our sort of low-powered new open wheeler that guys have been getting to grips with over the last season, or a couple of seasons actually now. It's been out a couple of seasons, hasn't it? And it always provides great racing, these cars. No wings, so you're not going to be troubled by being right under the gearbox of the car in front of you. You can get as close as you like, and cars are frequently 3 or 4 in a line, 2 or 3 wide, just blocks of cars going round, and we're expecting to see that all through tonight. Guys battling left, right and centre on what is an excellent circuit for this kind of racing, Sebring International Raceway.
Yeah,
Big
Sebring.
open circuit.
Sebring is a beautiful track, and I absolutely love racing here. In these small FV cars, it's gonna be taking a while for us to see our first laps. It is solo qualifying, so nobody has to deal with any traffic, no group drafting and what's not. And I think because of the circuit length and the speed of these cars, that's why we went to the single car qualifying right now, just to give everybody a attempt to get that Formula V around here. Usually in a GT3 car, it would take you about 2 minutes. In these Formula Vs, oh my gosh, it's going to be one of the longest qualifying laps we have seen, unless these Formula Vs go to Spa, which I don't believe has happened yet. Okay, I think it might have happened, but just imagining these cars going up El Rouge and Radion is still funny.
Yeah, you wonder if they'd make it to the top of the hill, don't you? I imagine their RPM would drop trying to climb up there. Thankfully, we're on an airport circuit, so nice and flat all around here.
Yeah, nice flat all around, and pretty much flat out for nearly all the track too. This is definitely one part of the track that you're not flat out. Le Mans, using all the track and then some, and you get to see the smoke coming out of the back of the V. Usually intent on drivers shifting or lifting off right there. And definitely showing on how aggressive these drivers are taking this track, and how maxed out you have to be to really maximize the pace of all the corners in this small little nimble car, which is a great I'm gonna be honest, I love how iRacing put this in as a rookie car. It is such a great introduction to single-seater open wheel racing.
Yeah, and now they've got the full ladder, haven't they, sort of on both sides of the pond. You start out with these, you climb through the new F4, the F3, up to the F1 car, the Mercedes W12, or if you're of the American persuasion, you've got all the Road to Indy cars on that side.
Yeah,
minus the Indy Light, unfortunately, which I assume they'll be releasing at some point in the future.
Hashtag soon. Absolutely fun situation here, but yeah, the entire ladder is here. We got Spec. We also have the full road to IMSA stuff as well, and the World Endurance Championship. Even if there are a few GT3 cars missing there. And I'm really looking forward to see what happens to the GTE field, because I don't believe WEC is using GTE this year, right?
No, I'm not sure about that one. I think they've dropped it, haven't they?
Yeah, I believe they did, but
as we've just seen, our
our
first quali laps are showing up on the board now. And just to drive home our point of how long this lap is, Arabian on the pole at the moment with a calendar's length, 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Closely followed by Mayer and Batley, just 2 and 3/10 behind him respectively. They've got a chance to do one more lap to try and bolster their position.
You can see driver's progression at the bottom of our screen, showing their current progression through the lap. Andrew Love, he is on a second lap right now. Jesus Rodriguez and Carvo are on their outlap right now. Andrew Love, He's improved on the first 2 sectors. Middle 2, not so well. Last sector that he was just on, he's improved on there as he heads into Le Mans. Seeing how wide and over the line you have to go to really make that final corner. And that runoff at the end, it's kind of dangerous in other cars, but in these Formula Vs, it's pretty much a car length, car width that you go out onto that curbing. So you're going to have to be pretty cautious on how much curbing you want to go out there and not get an off track for.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to get right out there, but it's just working out exactly where that cut-off line is before you start picking up your 1x's, your penalty points, which added together can put you through the pit lane for a drive-through penalty. So guys, we've got to watch out for that tonight. It's an easy track to pick them up on.
Yeah,
As well as obviously potential contact between them. They're going to be right together all through the night. 4x's are awarded or taken away, should I say, if you make contact with an opposing driver. So add all those points up, you're going to get a penalty.
Times are rolling in right now. Andrew Love improved up to 4th place. Jason Green puts himself into 7th place right now. Ken Bately comes through right there, but doesn't improve on his time. Arabian snipes Mayer for just 0.08 of a second for P1 and provisional pole. Less than 1 minute and 20 seconds remain here at Sebring, so that will be the time. You can see John Casey, he's on a good lap right now by our progress bar. Really improved on his lap. Let's see if he can improve. He's currently sitting in 21st. Gotta just get across the line. And he does improve that time for 20th. Jesus Rodriguez, we saw one of the late drivers coming out of the pit lane. They did his outlap a few minutes after the start of the session. Just probably seeing if he can get a benchmark right there. This is Jim Brewster on our timing watch right now, but he's going through the Andretti corner right there on the north side of the track, I believe.
Yeah,
yes,
on the north.
Is the north side.
Anyone new to the broadcast, just wondering about the colours in the timing screen on the left there. Red indicates our pro drivers with a 3K plus I rating. Green is for the Spec 2 drivers, that's anything below 3K I rating. And the yellow is for our Masters drivers, those drivers taking part who have reached the grand old age of 55 or further. Maybe I shouldn't call them grand old age. Middle age, maybe.
Finally aged. Well, qualifying is over. It's Foreign's Arabian at the pole position ahead of Simon Meyer, Ken Bately and Andrew Love right behind him in the second row, Neil Sentkowski and Charles Martin, followed by Jason Green, Chris Montgomery, Stevie Ray, Gary Waldbolt, Sandy Saluto, and Justin Huffman in 12th place. Behind them is Jim Brewster, Jared Colo, Thor Tulo, Jordy Fike, Kurt Nuens, Jesus Rodriguez, Arthur Loredio, Paul Jackson, John Casey, Joe Camarelli. Adam Hayfield is in the commentary booth with me. I don't know how you got in there. And Kelly Dowell in 21st, followed by Edgar Santinelli, Guillermo Carvo, John Butinga, and Andrew Banga at the end of our 27-car grid, including Adam over here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that. I have no idea why I'm there. I'm not secretly in the car talking to you right now.
Well, it would be a situation, but you know, you do have a formation lap if you do want to get out there.
Yeah, I was going to say I could get you some real insight, couldn't I, from on the grid?
Absolutely.
Not so much a grid walk as a grid drive.
There needs to be a grid walk feature in iRacing. Just slow camera down the grid. It would be kind of a pain in the official iRacing sessions, but you know, in a league session, it'd be pretty interesting to see. As these Formula V's are lined up behind the Porsche safety car, and you know, it's gonna be a while for these Formula V's to stay with the safety car and go, because I'm gonna be honest, I've been in one of these situations where we're following the safety car. These Formula V's is pretty much driving nearly nearly flat out. We
Yeah,
have to
we've already
drive,
seen it's a 2-minute 30 lap, haven't we? Let's see if it's
Yeah.
it's probably more like a 3 minutes under the Porsche safety car. So we've got a little bit of time to flick through some of our drivers, see their on boards. Here we are with Neil Sentowski. He's qualified in 5th position for Vendval Racing, number 39. And we also get a chance on this slow lap just to look around the circuit. Clearly on the old airfield at the moment, the bumpy section into turn 1. This is where we hug that inside wall right inside the yellow line. Switch over to Paul Jackson. He's starting on the outside row.
Yeah, just like in real life, Formula V's and Spec Racer Fords start behind a rolling start. No standing still grids for them, and this series is ran under SCCA rules. And speaking of the SCCA, the Race Esports Racing Series is sponsoring this weekend runoffs, which mirror the actual weekend runoff, the actual SCCA weekend runoffs, and you can see more of the Race Esports Series on Tuesday nights here on Apex Racing TV, where they have a mixture of cars competing, all SCCA approved. We got the RE2, the Ray Esports 2, USF 2000, the Formula Vs were in there for a while. The SCCA Spec Racer Fords and the MX5s compete every Tuesday night. They have a different selection of cars out of a rotation of 3 cars every other week. So each week is a brand new liking for SCCA Ray Esports action here on Apex Racing TV.
As we're now around the back half of the circuit, half the lap completed at slow pace, focusing on our series organizer Steve Ray. Decided to join us in the Formula V tonight.
And Stevie, you know, he's the brainchild head of the Weekend Warriors, both series, the V's and the Spec Racer Fords on Saturdays and Sundays, as well as, you know, the series that shares his name, the Ray Esports Racing Series. But for those who are interested in Formula runoffs or just, you know, runoffs in general, there is a SCCA officially licensed runoff coming to iRacing later in the year in November, I believe.
Yep, looking forward to that one towards the end of the year. We've got a few months to go before that, though. Lots of racing to get in.
Oh yeah, lots of racing, lots of new cars coming as well. Maybe a new feature. Hashtag soon. But I'm really excited for this. We're coming down that long back straight. You can see the field is really tightly packed. They definitely want to get the best jump. And I can tell you, after a long formation lap of nearly 5 minutes, or I think we're at 3 minutes 30 right now, this formation lap has gone on. I just think it's time that all these drivers are hyped up and ready to go as they come around Sunset Bend. Porsche safety car is going to pull off right there. They're going to be going on green like they do. And it is green, 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 and away they go here at Sebring for the Formula V's Weekend Warriors V runoffs.
Yep, Arabian straight into an early lead. Pulled a little bit of a gap on Simon Mayer. Mayer jumps over to pull into his slipstream there as they head into turn 1. 27 Formula V's fling it in, and hopefully all of them come out the other end.
3, 4, 5 wide. Some of the V's getting onto the grass, onto the inside. But it's Arabian and Mayer leading into turn 2, followed by Bailey, Sentkowski, Love, Martin, Green, Montgomery, and Stevie Ray, your top 9 right now. And everybody keeping it very tight and very clean as our timing tower is now up on the screen. You can see our leaders now starting to get a little bit of a gap as some of the cars are still battling side by side. And here comes Mayer looking onto the outside right now. Arabian defending onto the inside, heading into the hotel hairpin on lap number 1. Mayer deep onto the brakes, round the outside. Mayer in the lead.
Yeah, wasting no time there. Immediately snatches the lead off Arabian halfway through the lead lap. In the background, I think everyone's managed to make it through what is a very tight sort of hairpin chicane hybrid there. Yeah, we switch back to Gary Walbolt somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I can see that packed very tightly, packed together. And, you know, the draft in these Formula Vs is like a vacuum cleaner. It just gets sucked up right behind him, and it's a pretty unnatural feeling draft if you haven't driven a Formula V before. But, you know, oh, there's a crash in the background. Big crash right there. I think that was Casey and Santinelli both involved in an incident. One of them got up into the air as this is John Casey recovering from that. The car looks better. No, it doesn't. Look at the front right, completely crunched in right there. We can have a replay coming up for y'all very soon, but this is, here we go. This is Edgar Santinelli. See, oh my gosh.
Wow, that was some really odd contact to set that one off, wasn't there? The two cars sort of got in together under the brakes, and then it was other drivers piling in. Was it Santinelli who came almost to a dead stop, it seemed?
I think one of the cars checked up really hard, and then it was, you know, we see this situation on highways where we don't expect a car to, you know, brake suddenly and, you know, accordion effect or right there, and, you know, there's no brake lights on these cars. So you got to really know when the car ahead of you is slowing down a lot. Arabian back into the lead, using the draft on the straightaway to get ahead of Simon Mayer. They go around. Hello, my baby. Neil Senkowski getting all the way out onto the grass and almost into the wall right there. It's going to be slowing him down on the straightaway. But look at this pack. You can see the draft of cars just swamping the lead car of that pack right now, side by side, heading into turn one. The outside line and that inside line. That is Jason Green on the back. No, that is Love on the back.
Martin group. It's Martin leading this group, isn't it? These are the guys fighting over third on the opening lap. The front, fighting over fourth. The front three have got away. 2-second gap already for the front three, and the rest of them are going to battle it out for a fourth on down from the looks of it.
They got out of that draft range, and you know, they're just minding their own business up front. But this fight for fourth is very tooth and nail right now. Elbows out racing in these Formula Vs. And if you want some close, clean racing, this is definitely where you're going to find it right now in these little missiles, as I like to call them.
Yeah, number 945, Love there. He's one of the drivers for sending smoke out the tailpipe, isn't he? Obviously downshifting hard as they come into the chicane there, burning off a little bit extra. All the cars nose to tail.
Heading into one of my favorite corners here at Sebring. Hard onto the brakes right there. You can see with that runoff coming from the hotel hairpin, every corner leading into a little bit of a straight is pretty much a overtaking opportunity in these Formula Vs to get up some of that draft. As you can see, Gary Waldbolt ahead of him. It just looks like a marathon of cars just going at it every corner, getting into the drafts, cars looking down to the inside, cars looking down to the outside, and just looking for any opportunity to go for an overtake. This is absolutely crazy close racing here in these Formula Vs, which is amazing, great training grounds as they are in real life.
Oh, we've got someone
Bailey
round.
has had an incident in Le Mans, spinning and getting onto the opposite side of the corner and going very slowly to avoid getting back into the traffic. That's smart racing right there by Ken Bailey. Unfortunate incident, but no damage that I can see on that car.
Yeah, I wonder how he did that. Mike, replay, see how he ended up out there. Yeah, and as if on command, here we go.
Thank you, John.
He's on his own from the looks of it. No cars around him.
Oh,
Yeah, just oversteered. Too much on the throttle, I think, there. Turns it around, and then he does a nice little job of backing it out of the way. Little J-turn.
On the opposite side of the curb.
Away he goes.
It's a very common incident right there. You see that a lot. This is just a screenshot worthy right there. I don't know how wide that was, but from that aspect, it looks like you fit 6 Formula Vs side by side and still have room for another one.
6 easy, definitely.
That is just beautiful. I know they get some great screenshot opportunities here, and some of the best close racing I've ever seen, and all of iRacing that happens in these Weekend Warriors leagues on Saturdays and Sundays, either in the Vs or in the Spec Racer Ford series. Absolutely a must if you're looking into some good, clean, fun action on iRacing, especially if you're looking to get into leagues.
Yeah, this is a 14-car battle we're
That
looking
is
at
getting
here.
spicy in the background
Martin
right there.
or right down to Ken Batley, who's obviously just dropped off the back to 17th. All of them fighting over 4th place. Only a matter of 5 seconds covering them. And in some cases, it's less than a 10th between each car.
Get right up onto those curves of that shot. Car looking down to the inside. That's Martin and Love going side by side. And that is Charles Martin leading out this pack now in 3rd place, as the 2 leaders have dropped Martin. Ken Batley was a part of that leader, so Martin was actually leading that group. But now that fight, that massive fight for 4th has turned into the fight for 3rd, as our 2 leaders are, well, pretty much in a different time zone at this point. 6 seconds ahead of that fight for 3rd place. And, you know, they aren't really fighting each other hard, and they probably know that for a while. It's a long race, so with all that fighting behind them, it's definitely going to be slowing that pack down. But, oh,
we've lost another one. We've lost another one through this section.
He hasn't gone around. I think he's just missed the braking point. Rejoining the track on the outside right there. He's letting everyone by. He's got to slow down to serve. He's in the grass as well. He's going to be getting the help of the draft of the cars ahead. But that is unfortunate for Andrew Love. It just looks like he just got a little bit late on the brakes and missed Le Mans right there. But he didn't go around, didn't have a spin. And we got a replay coming for y'all right now.
Yeah, I'm expecting a sort of a check-up situation.
Oh,
Maybe not. He's leading this group, isn't he?
I think a car went down his inside. Yes, it is. And I think he was just reacting. Oh, that was a big send right there. And
we're a little bit earlier in the lap here, aren't we? We've still got a few corners to go before we reach his off track.
Yeah, you just see on how close and how much this pack changes corner by corner. First he was leading it, now he's in 2nd. And look at this pack right lined up with him. Gets a little bit wide right there. Overcorrection. Now watch this draft run that he gets on. I believe it's Martin ahead of him. That double left-hander kink. You can see the pack already looking for moves. One of the cars looking down the inside. I think that's Stevie Ray. Oh, okay. Yeah, little brakes right there. Had to get slam on the brakes and almost got into the back of Charles Martin. As we go back live, as Chris Montgomery is the leader of this 3-car pack with Stevie Ray right behind him. Right behind Stevie Ray is Satullo and Sentkowski Tulo. You can see side by side heading into the hairpin. We got 1 car around, that's green. Turn around at the hairpin. Yeah, like
Tulo, one of our biggest movers actually this race. He's up 8 positions at the moment from where he started. Currently resides in 7th place. Oh, as we've got Montgomery on the outside here. Satullo.
Here comes Charles Martin
looking to make moves as well.
Martin setting himself up for that outside line. To get the pace, you can see the speed.
Contact.
By Montgomery, around goes Stevie Ray with contact by Montgomery. Stevie Ray gets off the track right there. And that's promoting Satullo and Tulo up into 3rd and 4th. And Stevie Ray is not going to be happy about that one, as off in the background was Cravo. But that was Montgomery getting into the back of Stevie Ray throughout that corner. Montgomery had an amazing run. He really sent it into that corner right now. And it's Satullo leading this fight for 3rd. This, I don't know how many cars are in here. About 11? Is this an 11-car pack or something?
It was 14 before, wasn't it? But we've lost a couple to various incidents, so 11's probably a good estimation. As Tulo and Satullo go side by side into Sunset Bend. Sentowski also interested in making it 3 wide.
He's making it 2 wide. He's just lining himself up down to the inside, heading to Sunset Bend. And, you know, heading into a straightaway, I think I would prefer to be the 3rd car in line, because you get a very good slipstream and you could choose your line heading into the next corner. But really, he's got no one to draft off of this point. You can see in the background right behind the 207 as Satullo getting right behind him, getting a little bit of that draft. They're 3 wide heading into turn 1 in the battle for 3rd. Cars going all the way on the outside, cars staying in the inside, cars staying in the middle, and the winner of that is going to be Fortulo, winning that battle in that corner right there. But looking on the inside is Satullo on Tulo. Sentkowski looking on to the outside of Satullo. as they are side by side, wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper, nose to nose, gearbox to gearbox, roll hoop to roll hoop, driver helmet to driver helmet. Hopefully not, but you know, it honestly feels like that in these Formula V cars.
Yeah, I was going to jump in there. Gearbox to gearbox means that something's gone wrong. Maybe like Stevie Ray going backwards a little bit earlier.
Well, these cars are small enough that, you know, it could happen.
It's potential, isn't it? Stevie was very lucky not to get hit in that area. I think I should just mention he was broadside in front of a pack of 14 cars and they all somehow got around him, so hats off to everyone. There are a couple of incidents taking place, but it's not claiming all these drivers. They've obviously got their eyes open, looking ahead for all the trouble coming their way. Satulo leads this pack away. They're now 11 seconds off the leaders.
Inside. Going to get ahead of Tulo mid-corner, but around the outside goes Tulo on Sentskowski. Here comes Montgomery on Sentskowski, getting that 5th spot. And every corner of these Vs is a battle. And I absolutely love these V races. I got to say, some of the most high-octane racing I've had is in a Formula V. It's the draft, it's the constant pack racing, and it really drills your nerves into being a great wheel-to-wheel racing driver. Especially in these fragile open wheel cars.
Yeah, any contact could be your last bit of contact, couldn't it? Very easy to snap a tracking rod or something in these cars. So we slide back out onto the back straight again. 11 cars all in a line, one big tow train. Down from 3rd place to 15th, Andrew Love. Jason Green's just off the back of them as well. He'll probably be interested in making it up into a 14-car battle again.
Yeah, 2-car wide at the front, looking for 3-car wide. Everybody else staying in that draft, just waiting for the last opportunity to get a nose in. Getting a little bit loose right there. That's Montgomery mid-corner getting onto the bumps, but that mid-corner correction definitely giving him that inside line. Gave him a little bit of momentum boost. That car is definitely turning a lot better than the other cars out there. As you can see, he's being picked up by Satulo going on to the outside, who is battling with Tulo right there. As we're looking 3-4 wide heading into turn 1. Hold your horses right here. This could get interesting. As contact mid-corner, cars around, and that's going to be a big crash as well. That is Jordy Fike, and that is that's Charles Martin and Jordy Fike getting in there. Charles Martin was the owner of that rogue wheel rolling down the straightaway.
Yeah, I think it was with Nunez who made that contact, wasn't it? Kurt Nunez. Let's have a look from our Copper Cham.
This is Jordy
Chopper Cam even.
He was at the back of this thing, but you can see it happened up at front in that 3rd row. One of the cars went down to the inside. Fike went really wide, had to avoid that. Very good defensive driving. Jordy Fike saw that coming, and then he got off the track. But you can see he saw everything right in front of him happen, and that was amazing avoidance by Jordy Fike. That's the small advantage that you have. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it was another good job from guys keeping their eyes open. We've already mentioned it a couple of times. Cars getting spun in front, and drivers are doing an amazing job not to get caught up in it. Long may that continue.
Yeah, and with that little collision right there, the top 2 in this fight for 3rd starting to have a little bit of a breakaway now as everybody's trying to get back in line. Now, they aren't going to fully break away just yet until that fight for 5th, if that continues, and everyone's getting a little bit sendy right there. But almost getting right into our camera right there. Satulo right on the gearbox. There's no bumpers in this car, so it is just the gearbox and a little bit of a chassis. As that is one of the cars taking the interesting interpretation of the rules as we go rallycross racing.
Oh, guys, that isn't the way to take that final corner onto the back straight. Keep it on the black stuff if you can.
Yeah, I think it's preferred to keep it on the black stuff. I love my rallycross racing. These cars are not rallycross cars. Trust me, I've tried. It broke after 1 lap. Or as I even got a lap out of it.
To be fair, the airplane surface, the runway surface, is fairly bumpy, but it's not compared to the grass. The grass will soon break your suspension. Oh, we've got someone going a little bit slow in the background there.
Yeah, slow down penalty for cutting the inside of the track. at Le Mans, you will get a slowdown penalty. I don't care if that was a safety move. You're still going to be serving a penalty from that. 3 wide for third. As that is
in contact behind. We've got someone spinning out.
That's spicy.
Oh, unless he saved it. My goodness, they're all
saved it.
coming to view in the same direction.
Yeah, there's no contact that I could see. Yeah, that was a beautiful save right there. We go back to our fight for third. 3-car group now. Sotelo has joined them as Sentkowski is the leader of that second group. Now a 5-car pack as we have some moves. Sotelo looking on Montgomery. Yes, it is. Montgomery defending on the inside. Sotelo looking on the outside right there. Getting into the draft of Tulo. Heading into the hotel hairpin. That's going to be the move well made for Sotelo. As this is Sentkowski and Brewster joining this 5-car fight for third, as the rest of that pack is still squabbling. Oh my gosh, there might have been something that just happened right there. I just saw our timing tower go absolutely mental. Jared Colo is off the track, and Jordan Fike is also off the track as well. Edgar Sentinelli picking his way through the pieces. I think Jonathan's going to have a fun one on this replay.
We caught it in the background, didn't we? A couple of little cars just spinning out on the grass. Let's see if we can't see what happened.
Green was at the back of this pack, but I think you can see what happened. A car on the outside has got loose, and then collision right in front of everybody else. And at that hairpin, it's pretty much a single line through that little chicane after the hotel hairpin. So there's not a lot of spots for the other cars to go. So I'm not surprised that there was a big crash right there. That's one of the tightest parts of the track, and that was a few Formula V's getting a bit loose. There is Justin Huffman, who was really affected by that incident. It's just wheel-to-wheel contact. One car gets up into the air, then collected right there. And this is Justin Huffman getting all the way out and avoiding all the crashes. But you see the intense steering angle he had to throw into the car to swing him out into the grass to avoid all of that. What a save by Justin Huffman to keep that Formula V looking nice and clean right there wheel-wise.
Yeah, I think it was Fike and Martin, wasn't it, who interlocked wheels, unfortunately. Sent one of them riding over the top and around in front of the pack.
Yeah, a few cars picked up
more avoiding skills on show.
Yeah, Kurt Nuens heading into the pits to repair that 3-wide, heading into turn 1 for third. This 5-car pack very nicely show. This is a very great show on wheels right now. Looking down to the inside on Sotelo is Montgomery. Montgomery is going to be taking the lead for that third pack. And just look at the car coming through the middle of the pack right now on Thortulo around the outside. That's Brewster. He had that is Sentkowski, actually. Brewster, goes Brewster on Tulo. Tulo getting to the back of this pack. I think Tulo is playing this one safe. If he starts seeing everybody going very aggressive in these cars, you might just want to be at the back of the pack and just let this one play out.
Yeah, every lap that goes by, we've chipped another car away, haven't we? Through contact, into the walls, into the pits for damage. We're down to just 5 in this battle for third place now, unfortunately.
Tightly they are packed together.
As well, we can see Walbolt and Andrew Love desperately trying to close the gap.
They are tightly packed together. No move looking in for Sotelo right there. It's just staying with Montgomery ahead of him and just keeping his nose on track. Less than 10 minutes remain here in the I almost said Spec Racer. Formula V Weekend Warriors V Runoffs. Remember, stay after the race for the Spec Racer Ford's runoffs here. 35-minute race at Sebring. That'll be coming up immediately after this race, and it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody to join and see that one.
Yep, we're looking a little bit further back in the pack now. We've got Lorero fighting with Sancinelli in front of him. Green right in behind in the number 160. These guys are all part of that amazing battle on the opening laps. They've sort of rejoined as we come to the end of lap 8. And here are our leaders. We haven't seen them for a good 15 minutes, but they are still out there. They are still lapping around. Nose to tail.
20 seconds ahead of third.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
a
just shows you
massive
how much battling has been going on behind him. They were able to pull a 19-second gap to Satulo. And it's just been Arabian and Mayer, the two pros out there. They've been 1-2 in the championship last season. You can see the red #1 for Simon Mayer. Just in the draft of Arabian, just staying right there and just increasing that gap for all. And I can tell you that fight for the lead is going to get pretty spicy between these two.
Yeah, pole position lap was a 2:36.5. Those two front runners, they're still running in the 2:36s, 0.5s, 0.6s. They're about 3 seconds a lap faster than everyone else consistently. Now the other guys are battling, but clearly those two front runners are just head and shoulders above the rest tonight.
Well, they're battling with each other. That's the main advantage that they're doing. They're not battling each other. You see every corner of the cars behind them, they're battling with each other. That's making them be 3 seconds a lap on average slower than our two leaders as they're going side by side once again, heading into the hotel hairpin. As they make it through there cleanly, Sentkowski leading out around the outside. He's got Satulo on his inside, and it's side by side, 2 rows deep right there as Brewster and Montgomery are shuffling into that order. And at the back is Dulo of this 5-car pack, looking to be a 7-car pack as Love and Woolbolt are slowly catching them up.
Yeah, that gap's definitely shrinking, isn't it? Those two in 8th and 9th place currently are also working together, not fighting, sticking to the racing line, and it's working for them as they slowly but surely reel in these front 5. These front 5 obviously deciding that a battle royale sort of tactic is what's going to work for them tonight.
I think that's Lorerio around. It is Arthur. We got a replay coming up for y'all right here. Here's what happened to Arthur. Is all on himself, and it's just a case of too much mustard. Oh, too much curb on the inside right there, and almost too much of another car. That was Jason Green who almost got into him. I'm pretty sure it was Jason Green because that was a very green car.
Yeah, it's not so much a curb as a rock face.
Ooh, no, that's contact right there. Montgomery getting into one of the other cars, and that is Satulo getting pushed out very wide right there. And oh my gosh, very heads-up driving to keep that from becoming an even bigger incident. But oh boy, heart and mouth moment right there, and that's going to allow Sentkowski to really pull away from this group right now as we're closing in on 5 minutes to go here at Sebring.
Yep, 5 minutes remaining. That's probably
and that fight continues. That's
probably 3 more laps to go.
And that fight continues behind Sentkowski. Sentkowski can write that check for 3rd place because, you know, if they continue to keep fighting like that behind him, there's no way that they're going to be catching him, as that's off the track for Satulo right there. Thortulo ahead, chasing down Montgomery, who's chasing down Sentkowski. They're separated just about 1.5 seconds separated between them, so they're going to have to really work hard together. But Tulo looking down the inside of Montgomery. This is not what you want to see if you're Montgomery, but this is what you definitely want to see in those very small mirrors of Sentkowski, who is putting all eyes ahead of him right now. That gap currently looking at 1.6 seconds, closing down to 1.5. They are going to get a small amount of draft to Sentkowski by Montgomery, but it's just how much are they going to be fighting in these closing laps if they want to catch. And I think they've all translated that message to each other that we can work together, we can go back to fighting for 3rd. But right now, we all need to be like a speed skating team in the Olympics and stay together and get into each other's drafts and work together to catch up that 1-car breakaway ahead.
Yeah, if they do work together, they should be able to bridge that gap. Montgomery did just overshoot ever so slightly the previous corner, though. That cost him a little bit of time. If he does that too often, Tulo will be thinking that he can lead this group better, and then they'll start fighting, and then Sentkowski has got 3rd place in the bag. You say they've all got the message. They're all following very closely, these 6 cars. Maybe
well, the
a
front
couple of them
3
do want to fight.
the front three are definitely, as Tulo goes off the track, Montgomery Satulo goes off the track, as well as Tulo goes off the track. That's going to break up the draft even more. That's put them unintentionally side by side right there, leaving Montgomery out there on his own. And, you know, the back cars in the pack, well, they're choosing which line they want to be, side by side, 3 wide. That's definitely not what you want to see if you're Montgomery trying to chase down Sedkowski. But, you know, maybe if it's just one car battling and trying to catch up, that's a big bump correction right there by Satulo. Almost getting pushed out wide into Tulo right now, as they're going to go 3 wide coming out of the Sunset Bend, as this fight for 5th is falling away from 4th place at Montgomery, who's trying to chase down Sedkowski up ahead. They're both personal best right there. Montgomery slowing up by Sedkowski, losing 3/10 on him right there. That gap improving to 1.8 seconds for Sedkowski up ahead. But now that Montgomery has a little bit of clean air, he can try to pull in Sedkowski right as this fight for 5th place is really heating up.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's,
Whoa!
off to the left.
Oh my gosh.
That's the wall he did.
He definitely did. He kept it out of the grass and everything, but that was a very big correction. You get really sidetracked off those curves, and then next thing you know, the track will definitely shoot you off the track right there. You got to respect the bumps, and not only the airports section has bumps, we also got the curbs that are massive bumps right now. Let's right on board of Sandy Satulo heading into turn 4, gets right up onto the bump, onto the grass, and we see this happen a lot in GT racing. He somehow kept it off the track on the opposite side, very nicely held right there, and he definitely has some fast hands to keep that one alive.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to be taking a few deep breaths. That tyre barrier on the outside was coming at him quickly, and he was almost in the grass on the left as well. If he'd gone a little bit deeper into there, I don't think he'd have saved it in time. Just about managed to keep it on the tarmac and keep it in front.
Yeah,
Still
very
in the
tightly
battle as
packed
well.
race. It looks like the timer is, yeah, it is going to be white flag next lap as we go on to our leaders. It is Arabian and Meyer, and this is where that lead fight between these two. They have all the time in the world to play with together. What is going to be your strategy if you're Simon Meyer? Is it just wait till the final lap and make your opportunity right there, get into the draft? And if I was Simon Meyer, I would have been strategizing about 15 minutes ago. It's like, how much of a run am I going to get if I'm this close far behind? He's got all the world to play for right now, and he definitely knows on how much draft he can get. Right there, he was testing a wider line, and that's a new fastest lap of the race, 2:35.5 for Simon Meyer, advantage over Arabian. But Arabian, you know, if Simon Meyer overtakes him a little bit too early, Arabian can get up that draft and fight him back. And I'm expecting, coming out of Le Mans, Simon Meyer is going to get the draft and get the lead, but he has to time that perfectly, just be a little bit farther back for Arabian, because if he overtakes Arabian just a little bit too early, Arabian could get back in that draft and go side by side heading into the hotel hairpin. We're going to go side by side right now. This is a very interesting situation, and Arabian can put a spanner in the works right there by not wanting to be the lead car heading into Le Mans, but he's taking that inside line, defending from Simon Meyer. And now I think it's just a fight of who doesn't want to be in the lead heading into the final corner. So this is going to get very interesting between these two.
Yeah, Arabian deciding that he does want to lead through this section. I wouldn't have expected it. I'd have thought you want to be second
Meyer,
and run down to Sunset, wouldn't you?
I think Meyer might have held up around the outside. You see, he would look down the inside trying to pressure Arabian into a mistake, but I think Meyer went onto the outside. He saw him down the inside and was like, oh, he's going to let me by. So he went very slowly around the hairpin. It was a very odd situation right there, because they both don't look like they want to be in the lead heading through that corner. So I'm expecting Arabian to try to have a issue, air quotes, and get behind Meyer to pick up that draft and try to seal his victory right there. Because Meyer, he's going to have the advantage with that draft, but he's got to know on how far behind he needs to be to get that draft and not have Arabian retake that draft. And oh, that's a mistake by Simon Meyer getting onto the curb at Le Mans, and that's going to really hurt his chances. Set himself back. Arabian goes off the track right there. Here comes Meyer down to the inside, and there's no draft advantage for Meyer or Arabian. They're going to be side by side. Meyer has the lead just slightly as they are side by side. Heading down into Sunset Bend. Arabian just slightly behind. Arabian could definitely swing around, get that draft, and it's going to be a drag race to the line as they head into Sunset Bend. You see a wide berth by Arabian is going to cut down to the inside. Arabian's got a great amount of speed. He's going to look for the outside line. This is going to be wheel to wheel. The car side by side drag race heading down the straightaway here at Sebring, and it's going to be Arabian by a nose. No, it's not. Meyer by 0.003 of a second. Across the line, beautiful fight for the win here for the Formula V Weekend Warriors vRunoffs here at Sebring. Simon Meyer by 0.003 of a second takes the win, and into the wall is Sortulo. He tried to take the widest berth I've ever seen. Unfortunately, the walls don't give away for that. Sentkowski comes home in third. It's going to be Montgomery in fourth, Love in fifth, and Sortulo in sixth place. Very tightly fought right there, but what a race by Simon Meyer and Forenz Arabian. Meyer getting onto the curb, having a mistake before the corner. Arabian having the mistake out of the corner, and Arabian, oh, this straight was, if this start line was just a few yards back, it would have been Arabian's race. It was both a very tight race. One of the tightest finishes I have ever seen in iRacing.
Yeah, I'm sat here in amazement. I can't believe that Arabian didn't snatch that. I thought he'd done everything right through Sunset. He'd gone such a nice, open, wide line to carry the speed, flicked it back in, and then Simon Meyer kept it in tight. I thought he'd made a massive mistake by keeping it tight and limiting his exit speed. But the run was short
off Arabian. If Arabian had that inside cutoff line, I think Arabian with that smaller run could have got up to the lead, but you see right up to the line. I didn't know who was going to win. I thought it was going to be Arabian at first, but Simon Meyer, oh my gosh, escaping it with a nose hair, I guess. I'm not sure on how close that would be. An eyelash in these cars, but a fantastic race, photo finish for sure, and a beautiful race. And hey, that's one way to start off the day.
Yep, as we're just waiting for the last couple of cars, there's a couple of cars still out there who got caught up in incidents on the final lap. Rodriguez in 21st place. Once he comes across the line, we'll have the full set of results for you.
Locks up the brakes, and here are your results for the first round. Well, the first race of today for the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors Week 13 vRunoff. Forenz Arabian takes the win just by absolutely the thinnest of margins. 0.004 of a second officially ahead of Simon. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's different from what the iRacing times gave us out, isn't it?
Yeah, because in the race it was Simon Meyer, but now it's Forenz Arabian. This is weird. It's so close that it's broken our timing software. I'm going to look into iRacing to see what iRacing says at the results. It is Forenz Arabian who took the win right there. My eyes didn't deceive me. Forenz Arabian takes the win by Simon Meyer, ahead of Neil Sentkowski, Chris Montgomery, Andrew Love, Sandy Satulo, Jim Brewster, Gary Woolbolt, Thor Tulo, Stevie Ray, Jason Green, Justin Huffman, Edgar Santinelli, Jared Colo, Kurt Newens, Arthur Lorario, Charles Martin, John Casey in 18th place. Fall behind them is Jesus Rodriguez, Jordy Fike, Guilherme Cravo, Joe Camerly, and Kelly Dahl at the end of the 25 runners. Andrew Banga and Johan Butenga did not take to the grid, as Adam, you're right next to me, and I think we just saw one of the craziest races that we definitely need to calm down about.
Yeah, I feel like I should have joined in there. I could have definitely come home top 20 without even having to turn a lap. There were so many incidents. I could have just trundled round, could have got out on my scooter, couldn't I, and scored some points tonight. But yeah, great racing all round. Some really fantastic battles. And obviously our front two shot away in the lead, decided they were going to have it all their own way, and they did, and put on a real show for us at the end there. Such a good show, even the computers couldn't make it out. But we can, I think we can confirm Arabian as our race winner tonight in our first race.
Yeah. Arabian, well, we thought he got We thought he did everything right. He did do everything right, and he took the win here by 3 thousandths of a second, 4 thousandths of a second. Either way, it was just an absolutely no margin between them and the fight for the front, and that is a definite way we want to start this Great Esports Weekend Warriors Week 13 runoffs. Definitely. The SRF Weekend Warriors is coming up right after this small break, and that is coming to you next here on Apex Racing TV. Howdy, 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 and welcome back to the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors. We got the Formula V's off the track, and the Spec Racer Fords are all lined up and ready to go. This is the Week 13 runoffs here at Sebring International Raceway. I'm Austin Knight, joined by Adam Hadfield with Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV, and after a fantastic close race that the Formula V's gave us by 0.04 of a second, we're lined up and ready to go here for the Spec Racer Fords as vRunoffs takes the lead of the race, followed by Austin Winter, James Walker, Ranchi Lin, George Mani, and Matsurio Naselli, followed by Jason Perry, Mura Markarami, and Bobby West, Matthias Weiger, and Antonio Reyes, followed by Andrean Campbell at the end, 12th place, followed by Alan McCain, Forenz Arabian, Steve Elson, Stephen Beardsley, Andrea Favini, John Wilson, Adam Bradshaw, Brian Short, Brian Schmales, Greg Mack, Johan Butenga, Bob Kern in 24th. Behind them, it's Ian Gibson, Samuel Dick, Jordy Fike, Charles Vaccaro, Jeff Cantor, Andrew Banga, Joshua Flores, Ryan Flagg, Neil Sentkowski. He's pulling double duty, as well as Jesus Rodriguez, Jim Brewster, Simon Meyer, the Formula V second place runner. It will be back there, followed by Jason Green, Kurt Nuez, Stevie Ray, Andrew Love, Sandy Satullo, Paul Jackson, Jose Santiago, Gary Woldbart, Edgar Santinelli, Joshua Boren Bonkowski, Gilmore Cravo, and John Casey. In 48th, the final rows, it's Arthur Lorario, Jeff Horniak, and Adam Hadfield is joined with me in the commentary booth. This is a 50-car grid here at Sebring for the SRF Weekend Warriors runoff presented by Ray Esports. And this is definitely a highlight of the big grids. 50 Spec Racer Fords all lined up and ready to go. Adam, how are you feeling for this?
This is more my Sunday night cup of tea. This is my usual platform, isn't it? I'm normally shouting out all about vRunoffs and Austin Winner going side by side. We've done 12 weeks of it. Here we are with a special week 13, slightly shorter race, just 35 minutes for these guys to tussle it out. But there they are again, as we mentioned. We've got a couple of our Formula V guys have joined us. Top of that list is Forenz Arabian, who managed to qualify 14th, despite only just jumping into the session barely a couple of minutes ago. He must have had time for one lap and obviously put it on the 7th row of the grid. Let's see if he can't break into the top 10 before the end of this race.
I don't know how Arabian was able to take the win, jump out, hop in, and then just go again. But that just shows you the pace he has around this track, because he had to do an outlap then do the lap. But Arabian, the Formula V winner, starting up 14th right there. Hey, that's how you do it around here. Pace lap almost done right now. vRunoffs, Austin Winner, definitely a grid to behold here in the Weekend Warriors. Usually I'm in this grid, but you know, I decided to kick up my feet and enjoy it from the commentary booth with you, Adam. And, you know, it's a good change of pace. I don't have to sweat about a race, but, you know, it's definitely a relaxing grid and a lot of fun out there on track with these guys. You aren't really pressured when you're racing around a lot of people that have very similar mindsets as you. It's just having fun on a racetrack on a weekend and being a little bit of warrior at the side, as this is a very far pace away from the Porsche safety car. As that Porsche safety car pulls into the grid, into the pit stall, as we are green, away we go for the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors runoffs here at Sebring. vRunoffs defending down to the inside, Arsenal Winter going on to the outside, vRunoffs blocking off right there, 3 wide in that 4th row right there in the battle for 4th. Austin Winter going down to the inside. That's a wide line by one of the cars, and going extremely wide, a few cars, but it's a very tightly packed grid. Not as wide as you can get with these compared to the Formula V's right there. Is a massive parade of cars just shuffling into turn 2. We got a car around. That's a big crash in the middle of the track. Oh my gosh, massive crash. This is going to be turned into a parking lot here at Sebring And oh my gosh, this is a slow-moving parking lot.
It's still going on as well.
They're going to have to go off the track to avoid some of these cars and get right there. And this is one of the most chaotic starts I have ever seen. Aerodom and also winner Jorge Mani, Maurizio Naselli, James Walker, Yanchi Lim, Bobby West, and Antonio. I think are all the ones that avoided that. Then everyone behind him is just absolutely shuffled around from that monster of a starting crash incident. And I pray to Jonathan Grabowski, who's going to find the starting enticing incident for all that, because I don't know what one thing led to another, and then another thing led to another. The next thing you know, cars are inside each other, sideways and blocking the road. Well, I think one car was airborne. It kind of looked like the Macau crash, that famous GT3 Macau crash back in the day.
Yeah, we were watching Alan McCain's on board. Oh, in fact, we've got
he's right behind it.
It's an accident ahead. Oh, and he's right into the side of it. Oh, and then more and more cars pile in. And it just doesn't end, does it? It's going to continue in a few seconds. Yeah, we've got more cars there.
I think the first car that was turned around, he's in that very noticeable white and red striped car, and he's always in these SRF races. Chris Murakami, I think, was the car that was initially turned around by that. So, Jonathan, I hate to say this, but I think, do you want to go to the Chris Murakami on board? And here's what happened right here. Murakami's down the inside, heading into turn 2. He's got the move made, but, you know, there's still a car on his inside and just got onto the curb. And that's what started it all right there. And you can see just in the middle of the track, nowhere to go. He's trying to get off the track right there. And I feel like because he wasn't a stable car, that was causing a lot of confusion with cars trying to get around him. And you get to see it just turns into a massive dash, a little bit of bumping and banging. And I remember what you were saying at the start of this race, how these guys are the experts at door banging wheel-to-wheel action. Well, they were showing that door banging wheel-to-wheel action right there.
Yeah, unfortunate contact. I think he just sliced the nose off of Jason Perry there, didn't he? Didn't quite have the clearance he needed to slot back onto the racing line. Got tipped around, and then all hell broke loose. I thought it was quite funny. A few cars actually came to a complete stop and then decided, no, I'm checking out onto the grass. You could quite clearly see the thought process going on as drivers decided to make their way around the incident, but multiple cars held up in that one. We've still got a fairly big pack at the front though. Certainly the top 20 cars are still pretty much all in a line. Our usual leaders, Winner and Nom, out there in the front with Naselli, trying to chase them down, and Jorg Mani and the number 25 focusing on now.
Yeah, Aero Nom got passed by Austin Winter heading into the hotel hairpin, as Austin Winter leading out as we actually came back live and we saw the spark of this fight. Look at the speed that Aero Nom didn't have on Austin Winter. Austin Winter lined himself down to the inside. Aero Nom, I think he just let Austin by. He took a wider line, trying to get the switchback right there, but Austin Winter now leading out this race on Aero Nom as other cars are fighting through each other through Le Mans. And it's kind of just like what we saw in the Formula V race, where we have two leaders and then a massive pack for third, led by Naselli, Mani, and Walker. Your top three. James Walker, we are the one following right now in that car. Looking down to the inside, here comes Mani on Naselli, as up ahead you can just see it. Aero Nom's got past Austin Winter. Nom goes down to the inside. Winter taking that outside line, and he's trying to do what Arabian did in the Formula V's, take that wider line and get that advantage. But these Spec Racer Fords, a much faster car than the Formula V's. So what worked in the Formula V's is not going to work here to a T, and to that effectiveness in these Spec Racer Fords. They're going to have to really get into that opportunity and get that opportune zone. As Aero Nom goes a little bit wide, Austin Winter looked down to the inside, decided about it, not worth it, as Naselli and Nani going side by side for third place, heading into turn 2.
Yeah, one thing we didn't mention, obviously Chris Murakami get involved in that accident on the first lap. He was our Masters champion this year, and it's removed him from the equation. It leaves Antonio Reyes in 8th place as our lead Masters driver. He was the main competition to Murakami all through the past few weeks, and now he looks like he's got a bit of a slam dunk easy finish here. He's going to come home as the top Masters if he just keeps it on the road. I think is nearest competition is number 929 Bradshaw, currently running in 12th position. As we focus in on Arabian now, winner from the Formula V's by just a matter of thousandths. You know what? I think he only got his qualifying lap in by a couple of thousandths. No other driver that was in the Formula V's and has joined us in the Spec Racer Ford got a lap in. Only Arabian managed it, so he must have done that by the absolute skin of his teeth. As he's looking at the back of Campbell now.
Yeah, there's no way that I could have seen that he could have done that any faster than that. Absolute fantastic performance right there. Not only winning the race by 4,000 of a second, breaking a timing tower, hopping over to his session. That guy's got a computer that can load him into his session extremely fast, because that took us about a solid minute or two. And around is Austin Winner. Winner spun around at Le Mans, and he falls away from the fight for the lead. He rejoins the track in 9th place. Austin Winner. Oh, that is definitely not what he wants to see. That's the 22 getting loose right in front of him, and he almost gets collected right there. Oh, crazy situation for Austin Winner right now. And we're definitely going to be wanting a replay to see that. I saw the back end go around for him at Le Mans. Now, was that he was chasing down vRunoffs, so there wasn't contact between there. I think what has happened, he's hit that inside curb, and that got him very offset, goes onto the outside, and that raised curb upset the car, and around goes Austin Winner right there. And that has left vRunoff on his own in the lead. And there's no pit stops in this 35-minute race, so this is a sprint race to the end in the Spec Racer Ford's Austin Winner, currently in 8th place. He's definitely, well, I think his goal has changed from, is still going to be second now, but he's got to catch up to this group up ahead of him. And this is one tightly fought group led by Monty, being fought by Naselli, Walker, Lynn, Wes Reese in this 5-car fight for second.
Yeah, Winner's going to be absolutely kicking himself after that. He could have bailed out of that. He could have cut across the corner and then just taken a little bit of a slowdown penalty. Did everything he could to stay on track, and it's cost him. As Naselli defends from Yogmani. Walker and Wangshi Lin in there as well. Oh, as Lin gets very wide, and in the background, Winner gets wide as well.
Yeah, Winner trying to use everything. Winner trying to use everything as that's Weiger down his inside. Weiger and Winner side by side, as Elson is right behind him. Winner getting the lead heading into Andretti corner. One of my favorite corners on this track. It's a very tight, very flowing corner, and it's immediately after the hairpin, so you get a little bit of run, but it's not a mind-blowing run on the cars ahead. So if you get a run into there, you really nail that hairpin. And it's a very satisfying corner to really make a move into there.
Yeah, it's a twisty long run, isn't it, from down at the first hairpin to make a move into Andretti. But if you get a good exit, you can pull out and dive for the inside. We're watching Arabian right now, followed very closely by Campbell, and our lead in Spec 2 for Vini, number 227. Vini with a big 6-second gap to his closest Spec 2 rival, who is Schmaltz and Wilson. Those two, respectively, another 4 seconds off is Wilson. And then Jason Perry, who we saw involved in that first accident, part of the cause of that first accident, with a very bent-looking car.
Was that Arabian? No, that can't be Arabian. No, we got a big crash, actually. We got a massive incident at the back of the field. I'm looking at our timing tower. Jonathan, can we get a live look at it? Yeah, oh my gosh. That is a messed up. Yes, that's a Spec Racer Ford. It's backwards.
Batenga?
That is a Johan Batenga. What has happened here? Yeah, this is one of the cars that was stopped on the exit right there. I feel like what might have... Oh my gosh, Jonathan, you cut away at the moment right of disaster. But I feel like we're going to be seeing the hit right here. Just gets a bit wide and bam! Oh my gosh, that is a violent side-by-side hit. Blind corner two. There would have been a yellow. There is a yellow flag right there. They just didn't know where that other car was. He was sitting right on the runoff in the racing line, and you know, he was holding his brakes. what could have been avoided. He could have reversed on there, but I feel like if he reversed, that would have thrown another car who might have saw him gone out wide, and he didn't want to collect anybody right there, so he stayed right there, and that is an unfortunate incident. He's right on board of Tanga, as this is a very, very bad hit, and that is definitely not the pace that Johan has on right now, and yeah, that's a shot that we join Johan right there. That is a violent hit.
Yeah, interestingly, I think the driver who did get hit had actually was holding the tow button, wasn't he? He disappeared a split second before impact. Unfortunately, the physics package wasn't quite up to speed with it, so Batenga got caught out and suffered the damage for it. In the background, I think we just saw West cutting the corner as well. West might have a little bit of a slowdown. Yep, pulls to the right-hand side. He's off the back of this group now. I think we're going to see Austin Winner fly by as we pan round.
We're going to see the draft. He's not going to be flying by, but he's definitely going to be closing in on Bobby West. We know Bobby West, he's definitely got that pace. He was actually watching the Formula V race while these Spec Racer Fords were in practice, actually. And, you know, he wished the Formula V race was a little bit of luck as he was getting ready for this Spec Racer Ford race. They're side by side in that fight for second. Yanchi Lin taking up the lead on Naselli. Lin on the outside, Naselli on the inside, as they're side by side heading through turn one. Naselli retakes the lead, and look at the background, look at the speed. I think that was James Walker, who had a big opportunity right there to make up a few spots on Antonio Reyes ahead of him, but it's currently Naselli in second place, leading out this pack of five.
Yeah, these guys battling. It's sort of ended the race in terms of competition for the win, because Aeronom, we know him as a master of this car. Normally is looking for the win, and he's only ever got one or two drivers in his draft battling him. Well, there's no drivers in his draft tonight. He's gone. Austin Winner sort of got out of it, didn't he? Got a spin on and left him all on his own, so Aero can just lap at his own pace and run away with this one. The rest of these guys look like they're going to be fighting over second as Jorg Marni shows his nose to Wanchi Lin and decides to
show his nose, still in the mirrors. The one thing about these mirrors in the Spec Racer Ford, they're really high up. They are eye level with the driver, and you can see in the iRacing driver, the eyes are right eye level right there, but you know, if you are not that high of a sitting person, you're going to be looking up into those mirrors, and it's a very odd situation because the dashboard is pretty low, and thankfully, if you don't have lights on your rig at home, or if you're really immersed, you're just going to be looking at that very top light, or unless you put your driver height just a little bit down or a little bit forward right there, as that's an off track for the number 5, Simon Meyer. The second place finisher in the Formula V is definitely not how his race wanted to go.
No, unfortunate incident there. He's got spun round. Let's see it in replay. On board with him now.
Too much musty situation.
All on his own.
Classic Spec Racer Ford incident. Easy to spin these cars. This car loved by a lot, hated by many. Many of those who hate it, you know, they get easily affected by those easy spins. They don't know how to really counteract those, and it still catches some of the best out right here. But it just shows you this, as Formula V's, they teach side-to-side, wheel-by-wheel racing extremely well, as the Spec Racer Fords teach side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel racing and car control extremely well, and how to understand the car and push the car to the limits, and just skating on that edge of disaster through every corner, as we are looking at Reyes getting on the back of Monty and Antonio Reyes. He's all up in that draft, heading into the Hotel Hairpin, not looking down to the inside right there. Late dive by Naselli on Yanchi Lin, but Yanchi Lin still leading out through the Hotel Hairpin.
Yeah, I wonder if that was more of a snatched break or something. He suddenly shot to the inside, didn't he? He wasn't particularly under pressure from Marni at that moment. Yeah. He is now, though. A poor exit has put Jorg all over him. Jorg with a little bit of an overlap, deep on the brakes. And they're going to go side by side. No, Jorg Marni claims it.
Reyes almost got into the back of Naselli right there. But yeah, I think that might have been a snatched break issue, because his car did snap right, and he lost a lot of pace right there as Manes jumps up into third place. Yanqi Lin leading out this group now. I'm very happy Reyes and Naselli didn't get into each other, else that would have been a repeat of what we saw on lap 1, which I don't think anybody wants to see again. Maybe if you're the iRacing not top 10 guys.
Yeah, if you're looking to benefit from an incident, make your way up through the pack. Speaking of up through the pack, Murakami is still in this fight. We saw him turn around. He's currently in 24th position.
Speaking of up through the pack, do you want to see who the biggest mover of the pack is so far?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Edgar Santinelli, up 20 spots.
Currently running in 25th, isn't he? I think he may have just lost a pot to Murakami.
Jason Green is up 19 spots, and Jason Green is in 18th as well. So, you know, we got two drivers currently neck and neck in the overtaking award, and both these drivers were in the Formula V race. Actually, no, Edgar Santinelli was not in there. I just recognize his name a lot. And snatch break right there, and Jason Green almost ended his race right there. That is a heart and mouth moment. Well, there's number 20 for Jason Green.
It was John Wilson, wasn't it, who got all sorts of sideways midway through Sunset. He's got a little bit of a car, but whether that contributed or not, I'm not sure.
I don't think there was contact between them, but I feel like that was turning in. He felt the back end of the car step out, and he's like, oh no, I'm going around, and then he just tapped the brakes. Car shot to the left, and you know, you're going to be flying across, and well, Jason Green's heart is definitely pounding through his chest, and if he's got a step monitor on him, that thing's going to probably register a few extra steps right there.
Yeah, no doubt. As we join this battle for second once again, Austin Winnett now thoroughly embedded in it as he tries to recover from his mistake. He's looking at the back of Antonio Reyes currently, leader in our Masters category, hopping over the curves on the inside, 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's using all the track just to try the biggest advantage he can get. Also, Winner currently holds the fastest lap of the race of a 2-minute 20.25. That is, you know, draft assisted and everything, but he's definitely making it work. And, you know, he's kind of fallen away from that pack ahead, but he is carving his way, heading into a he's still hitting that inside curve, which is what shot him out wide in the first part. But, you know, with these worn-in tires, he's definitely not going to be making that incident. I feel like that might have been a issue contributed with cold tires right now. Here comes Austin Winner in the draft of Antonio Reyes. It's not going to be there at the end of the Sunset Bend. Look ahead, almost 3 wide for second place. Mani and Naselli going side by side. You see Yanqi Lin on the inside of Naselli. He's trying that inside line, but it's going to be Naselli around the outside right there. But here comes Walker as well, getting onto the back of Yanqi Lin. I think he's going to give him a little bit of bump draft. He is giving him a bump draft, heading into turn 1, pushing Yanqi Lin out ahead of Naselli as they're going to go side by side. Naselli down to the inside, Yanqi Lin holding it around to the outside, but it's a block by Naselli off the exit of turn 1 right there. 3 cars bumper to bumper right now, being led by Monty as they head into turn 2. Let's ride on board of Yanqi Lin in this fight. The car ahead of this pack is a lap car.
Yeah, it's a lap car off the front of them, isn't it? They might get a little bit of draft assistance in the coming laps, but it's not going to help them against their Anomach here.
This is where we're going to be seeing a few of the cars. Look down the inside. Oh, getting offset right there. Yanqi Lin got into the grass, and he's going to be taking the old hairpin. And, you know, surprisingly, it's actually going to give you a slowdown penalty. I'm not sure why it does that. Thanks, iRacing. But Yanqi Lin, oh, that's definitely not what you want to see right there. He was looking down the inside, decided that it was going to be, so he came back in line, and I feel like it was just a little bit too far left, got into the grass just a little bit, and that really shook the car loose. Yeah, he goes look down the inside, and Nasani gets back into left, and Nasani very early on the brakes, and Yanqi Lin took a line to avoid Naselli right there, got into the grass, and well, that's what the old Sebring hairpin looked like if you wanted a tour of that.
Yeah, he saw Naselli go for the defensive move, didn't he? Thought he could occupy the space, but then Naselli decided he wanted back on the racing line, and it's put Lynn into the grass,
And it
out
was a
into
very
the
early
lead.
breaking point, too.
Yeah, both of those things combined have just unseated Wanshi Lin, haven't they? And now he's going to have to fight back. He's 4 seconds off the back of the pack now. The back of this is being Bobby West in 7th place, number 89. We're currently focusing on Campbell, Vini just ahead of him, Weiger just behind, and going for the draft. Oh, draft.
Andre Cable is trying to give an assistance to him, but nope, 22 zoomed on by. That's Matthias getting ahead of those two. Used the draft, even with the bump draft. You know, he got double the draft with the cars ahead of him, and that's a very big hole being kicked up by both of the cars, and he's going to be taking the lead. Heading out of the front straight into turn 1. Speaking of ones, it's Aero Nam in P1. Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Yeah, I'm almost tired of saying it after the previous 12 weeks. Last time out, he did get the victory snatched off him by Wanshi Lin with some excellent pit stop strategy at Charlotte.
No, there's no pit
Unfortunately,
stop
that's not
strategy
going to come
here.
into play tonight.
Yeah, we got 35 minutes. Usually Spec Racer Fords on Sundays. They go 60 minutes, but since this is the runoffs, we're packing everything into one giant broadcast and having a lot of fun. And I saw another car in the background in the grass right there. It's at the back of this pack. Believe that was West. Bobby West was in the grass just for a second behind Reyes, and it was almost a carbon copy incident, the Yanchi Lin incident. But Bobby West able to regain it back onto the track and get onto the brakes and avoid something. Somebody's going into the club pit lane in the background. I think that was a lap car, though.
Marker, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a back marker. That is the wrong pit lane, sir. That is where the IndyCars use, and IndyCars use as a pit lane for when IndyCar comes here for street course testing. As we are looking at Stevie Ray, and that is one beat up Spec Racer Ford. Yeah, look at the front of that thing. It looks like it's been, well, crunched in. It's like a
Like a can that's been kicked down the road a few many times, isn't it?
It looks like the smart car equivalent of a Spec Racer Ford. That front nose is just crumpled in. He's definitely going to be struggling with front end pace, but the nose is just crunched in. It's kind of funny to look at.
Yeah, he's got company with John Wilson right behind him in a similarly wonky-looking car.
Yeah, I believe both of these drivers, a lot of drivers have that front nose crumpled in. A few of them went into the pits to get that repaired. Stephen Ray definitely was involved in that opening lap. It's hard to say that who wasn't involved. I think the top 5 maybe were not involved in that incident or just went off the track to avoid that. But man, that first incident, that is definitely a something you don't usually see with these guys.
Yeah, Chris Murakami qualified in 8th place at the start of this race. So everyone from 8th back sort of got somehow involved, either damage, complete wreck, or out into the grass.
The only driver that started behind him that was not affected, I would say, would be Edgar Sancinelli, who's up 22 spots, or he might have been involved in some way. I would say you, because you're technically a driver, but, you know, you're up here with me.
Yeah, I'm up here watching from the chopper cams and the TV cams as Sancinelli trying to get around the outside of Chris Murakami. Or is it that, in fact, Chris Murakami recovering? His car looks surprisingly... Oh, no, I was about to say all straight and good, but...
Now the back end of it.
Rear quarter panel.
But, yeah, surprising to everybody else. He doesn't look like he has the most banged-up car compared to what Stevie Ray has. I think...
Right, Marcus, put in front of the pack.
Was that Austin Winter? No, it wasn't.
No, Austin Winter shot around the outside of him, I think.
It was not Austin Winter. It was not Austin Winter. Austin Winter is at the back of this, and I think Austin Winter has the heads up incident on what happened, as I think that was Alan McCain who was spun around. I'm just having a guess because McCain is in the pits now. And Antonio Race did go off track, and here is what happened right there. Antonio Race looking down the inside and, oh, just snatched the brake, goes around right there, stuck on the inside of the track, tried to go down to the inside. It looked like a clean overtake, but it was a very hard-fought overtake, and it felt like he just had a little bit too much speed and turned in, snatched the brake, and around he went.
Yeah, I think he did an excellent job not running into the back of Bobby West actually there, didn't he? I think he realised he'd got onto the brakes too late and then did everything he could not to cause an accident. That's put him back several places though now.
Yeah, we're looking at Naselli leading out Walker. Walker looking down to the inside of Naselli. George Mani is in that group as well. He's at the back of this two-car fight. Walker is going to lead them through turn 1. Naselli in the draft. Here comes Mani on Naselli, side by side, heading into turn 2. Naselli under pressure. Naselli going to hold it around the outside of turn 2. Yes, he does. Gets a little curb strike from turn 3, but they all line up in with each other. Austin Winter and Bobby West are closing down on this pack as well. Last lap for Austin Winter, 2:22.6. Last lap for James Walker at the lead of this pack, 2:22.1. Last lap for Monty at the end of this pack, 2:21.91. So they're at even pace right now, but they're just one big battle away from making this a 3-car fight for second place to a 5-car fight for second place.
Yeah, Austin will be chanting them on, getting them to battle. We'll be hoping that with a little bit more of infighting, he can close that gap down even further.
Well, it's not 3 minutes. It's not 3 minutes to go. It is. We still got 35 minutes instead of the 30 minutes that the V's had. We got 30. We got 35. So that is, well, 8 more minutes. Yeah, 8 more minutes for these guys. So they're starting to get into crunch time. Usually within the final 5 minutes of a timed race, that's when the elbows get out. That's when the fists start flying, especially in big packs of this. If it's in a 2-car fight, you're going to see some moves, some looks, but they aren't going to be that committed until that final lap that we saw in the Formula Vs. But in packs like this, the final 5 minutes, the final 10 minutes really are just going to be, okay, this is now or nothing. I need to start making spots up if I want to be in contention up for the lead of this pack. And I definitely want that. There's a little mistake right there for Favini getting over the curb at Le Mans. Kept the car in line of it. Kind of that curb kind of acted like a guide rail at one of those antique car rides at Disneyland, where it just kept the car at the corner right there. And because it popped it over, kept the wheel from popping back in there because outside of the curb, it's just a sudden drop off. So, you know, that could save you from missing the corner completely, but it definitely does upset the cars. There's a bit of a checkup. Everybody going wide, then straight down the inside right there. That's allowed Favini to really close in that gap to the 3 cars ahead of him, as it is being led by Reyes, who is now under pressure by Arabian. Foreign's Arabian up 6 spots now, and in 8th place, the Formula V runoff champion of 2022 Season 1 leading into 2022 Season 2 here for the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors Formula Vs. Currently sitting in P8. Definitely a very strong weekend for Arabian right here. Pulling double duty ahead as this is a...
Wilson's been involved again.
Slow car. That's the 802 of John Wilson. I think John Wilson, yeah, he was just letting everybody by. That is a big incident, as this is Monty. Oh, this is Sandy Satullo.
Yeah, Satullo, another of our
Ian Gibson
drivers.
Yeah,
I think he's got Gibson in front of him, Kern in behind. Another car that's obviously seen better days.
Yeah,
another
this is where we're going to be seeing the
Formula Vs.
This is where we're going to be seeing a lot of the cars that were affected at the back. Some of the Formula V drivers who couldn't get in a quality lap are definitely going to be struggling. They were definitely trying to get up through the pack, and I definitely feel like they took a bit chances in that incident at the start, and they might have got a little bit knocked from side to side. So I'm not surprised to see a lot of damage through here, as this is the fight for second place. Monty leading out Walker and Naselli. Walker taking a little bit of wider line, heading through Lamont. That's going to give him the pace down the straight as well as the draft. But I'm going to say Naselli, he's going to be in that little happy spot right there behind these two, because if these two make a mistake, Naselli can come by and surprise them all, as this is Walker down to the inside of Monty. Walker in second place. And here comes Naselli looking for third. Naselli taking that very tight line. Look at Monty going very wide, trying to copy what Arabian did in the Formula Vs. It's going to give him the pace to get right beside Naselli right there. Keep Naselli from getting into the draft of Walker, but Walker coming across the track, getting the draft to Naselli, but it's going to be Monty covering him off right there. Monty stays in second place. Walker in the lead through turn 2, well, in the lead of this pack into turn 2 in the fight. Well, turn 1 in the fight for position 2 as they head into turn 2. 2. I'm going crazy over here. Daylight saving time is crazy.
Drink a little water. These guys have got 3 laps left to go now, so any battling is for keeps at this point. Austin Winner still off the back of that pack. We're watching Campbell at the moment. Oh, and we flick straight back to Winner. Still got Bobby West in behind in his draft.
Oh,
He's
Monty's looking in on Walker.
2.
Monty on the inside of Walker heading into the hotel hairpin. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remain here in the Weekend Warriors Spec Racer Fords here for week 13. And this is Monty. He's had a little bit of looks on the outside line heading into Andretti. He is right on that bumper right there. Not going for a move, surprisingly. I think Monty is just waiting for that long back stretch to really make his move right now. But, you know, as the time starts to close in, you never know what that third car is thinking. Naselli definitely could get a run on both these cars and surprise both of them. But if I was Naselli, I would stay right there and wait for that white flag. And then the gloves are off and thrown across the room, because it's going to be all white knuckle racing between these three. And Naselli would definitely capitalize if both of them start fighting. You can just surprise them right there as they head into Le Mans. Look at this run by Walker's going to get on Monty. Walker is definitely studying right now on how much of a run he could get. He knows if he is right there, that car in the draft is definitely going to get it. Here comes Naselli now. Naselli following Walker through, gets the sides of Monty. And Naselli, oh, look at Naselli down to the inside, taking the tightest of the line. He's going for second place right now. Naselli down to the inside, getting a little extra bump from Monty right there, but he's going to be slow right now. White flag is in the air, last lap right now for the Spec Racer Ford's Weekend Warriors runoff. So they're 3 wide for second place. Heading into turn 1, Monty, Walker, Naselli. Side by side, 3 wide into turn 1. Naselli backing off right there. Walker going on to the outside, getting into a little bit of the grass right there. Monty attacking onto the inside. Looking on turn 2, Naselli around to the outside of turn 2. He takes third place. A little bit of curb strikes on both sides for Walker. Naselli closing in on Walker right now, as Austin Winner and Bobby West are closing in on this fight. If they continue, Austin Winner can make a surprise top 4 appearance and maybe onto the podium if he can really close in on them. But Bobby West is fighting Austin Winner for 5th place right now. Naselli attacking on Walker onto the outside. Walker defending onto the inside. Naselli right on the bumper once again, but Walker leading out the fight for second place. Monty is at the back of this pack, just leaving a car length gap to Naselli, as here comes Naselli onto the inside of Walker. Walker defending very aggressively into the upcoming corner. Hard onto the brakes they go, heading into a drains. We right on board of Monty, who's looking onto the inside. Naselli gets onto the curve to stay in that draft of Walker right there. Walker leading out this group. They have a few lap cars ahead of him, but I don't think they're going to be that big of a factor right now. Walker leading out Naselli and Monty still right there, nose to nose, bumper to bumper. And Walker has a big advantage on Naselli, with Monty just pushing Naselli down the straightaway, trying to get him right back up there. As they head down Le Mans, this is definitely where you want to be if you're behind Walker right now. Walker takes all the curves that he can take, and that car can take right there. One last time through Le Mans they go, and down that straightaway. This is where Walker needs to go down the inside, break off that draft. There he goes. They all go down to the inside, getting into that draft. Naselli trying to get all the speed that he can. Is he going to go down to the inside of the inside? Is he going to go on to the round side? As Aeronam, not surprisingly, 11 seconds in the lead, takes the win. As Naselli and Walker, please go back to that fight. I'm going to jump out of my seat right now. Walker and Naselli side by side. They get a little door banging right there. Here comes Monty through the corner. They bang wheels. Monty, he's going to get a big run as the Sally gets into the wall and the grass. And it's going to be Walker taking second place. Monty in third. Sally, oh, falls down to fourth right there. Bobby West upsets Austin Winter for fifth place. Austin Winter finishes at sixth, followed by Yanchi Lin, Arabian, Weiger, and Reyes. Your top 10 heart-pounding action for second place. Oh my gosh, I love these guys.
Yeah, we're going back to Chris Murakami. Sorry, and Samuel Dick fighting into the Sunset Bend. These guys fighting over the back end of the top 20. Murakami snatches it back on the inside though. Runs it out wide as Dick got the inside run. These guys come to the line photo finish for 21st overall, and it's going to be Samuel Dick takes this one. Sees off the Masters champion for 2022 season 1. And now back to Kern and Satulo.
Oh, that's
Satulo
Kern.
just with an overlap. And Satulo takes that one for 24th.
Yeah, Kern didn't get it. Satulo had it. I thought it was Kern and Gibson for a second, but there's just Ian Gibson in the background. But wow, what a race we had. This had everything. It had giant incident. It had close racing. A fantastic finish for the podium. But a regular on the top, Ian Aeronov takes the win. And oh my gosh.
Yeah, still waiting on a few extra cars to come across the line, aren't we? Just like in the V's, and then we'll have our full results showing up for you. This time we won't be struggling to decide who won it, hopefully. I think it was fairly obvious from about lap 2 who was going to win this one.
Aeronov. Heck, I think Aeronov could have finished in reverse right there as the traditional Spec Racer Ford Demolition Derby at the Hotel Hair. Oh,
they're going to try and top the lap 1 accident, aren't they? I don't think you can do it, Royce. That was bigger than anything you can do now.
Yeah, well, the Hotel Hairpin in the background. Here are your results. Adam, I'm going to let you take this as my throat is scratchier than a bunch of sandpaper right now.
Yeah, you're going to drink some ginger tea or something. Our winner, once again, we're very familiar with this set of results, aren't we? Aeronom taking home the win in our Spec Racer Ford weekend runoff, winning out by 11.7 seconds from James Walker, who sees off Jörgmani and Naselli in a fantastic battle right to the death there. Bobby West comes home in 5th place after I think Austin Winner actually picked up a little bit of a slowdown on the last lap. Ends up in 6th position, not the position he wanted tonight, having shadowed Aeronom for those opening laps. Onshi Lin comes home in 7th, and Ferenc Arabian, our top driver in the Formula V's, comes home in 8th position after avoiding all the trouble. Antonio Reyes is our top Masters driver in 9th place from Aidan Campbell. Andrea Favini wins out in the Spec 2 drivers, number 227. And Stephen Beardsley comes home in 12th from Steve Ellis and Adam Bradshaw. Jason Green, Neil Sentowski, Jim Brewster in 17th, and Stevie Ray, series organiser, comes home in 18th place. Matthias Feiger home in 19th from Brian Short. Samuel Dick. Chris Murakami, after his opening lap incident, ends up 22nd ahead of Edgar Sancinelli. Sandy Satulo, another of our Formula V drivers, in 24th. Bob Kern 25th. Ian Gibson, Joshua Borg-Bonkowski, and Jeff Cantor in 28th. Rolling down to Geordie Fike, comes home 29th. Charlie Vaccaro, Andrew Love, Paul Jackson, Arthur Loureiro in 33rd ahead of Gary Walbolt, and John Casey even, last driver on the lead lap. Brian Schwartz comes home 36th, first of the drivers a lap down from Jesus Rodriguez. John Wilson, we saw him a few times with a very battered car, comes home in 38th place ahead of Johan Batenga. Guillaume Cravo in 40th ahead of Simon Meyer. Jeff Hornack in 42nd. Joshua Flores, Alan McCain. Jason Perry ends up 45th, the other driver, to set off that opening lap incident. Andrew Banner in 46th. Jose Santiago. Kurt Nunez in 48th. And drivers who retired very early on: Ryan Flagg, Greg Mack, and myself, who never even took the start.
Yeah, I feel like you would have had more fun up here anyway, so it's probably a good thing that you did not hop in here. You had a lot of fun up here, and somebody who had a lot of fun organizing all this. Well, we are joined by series organizer of both of these races. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one, the only, Stevie Ray. Steve Ray. Steve, how are you feeling? How are you doing after today? How are you feeling after everybody, all this incident, all this, well, both these races and this past season?
Oh man, it's like I told you guys. You good?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, I told the guys on the grid, you know, this one's for fun. Let's have fun and keep it clean and safe and just have a good fair race. So both of those races, from my point of view, were a lot of fun. Lap one here in the Spec Ford's got a little messy there in midfield at the beginning, but it settled down and the guys were, hey, you know, I got through it. That's racing. So it was all good.
It definitely looked all good right there. A little messy is an understatement. I feel like that is one unfortunate way to end out the season to start a new one. But,
Yeah.
you know, you said it was all for fun, and they definitely did. But, you know, Sebring, that corner is always going to happen right there. And, you know, these Weekend Warriors leagues with the Vs and the Spec Racer Fords, some of the most close compacted races that I have ever seen on iRacing. And it is always a joy to see these big grids on the weekends, everybody showing up, and both these communities coming together to have a lot of fun and some very fun and enjoyable cars.
Yeah, they are. They really are. The Spec Ford takes a little more getting used to and learning than the V, but we've got big grids every week in the Weekend Warriors. The Spec Ford guys anywhere from 45 to 60, so it's a ton of fun. We had a great season last season. And looking forward to the same and more and growing it a little bit this season. And hopefully the Vs will grow a little bit. We were about 25, I think, typically for those guys. We need to get them broadcast, but it should be a good season. And just wanted to come in real quick and thank everybody that comes out. I mean, like I keep saying, I can set it up and do all the work, but it's no fun without these guys on track every week. They take it serious and clean and most respectful racing that you can find. As you said, there's close finishes every week. It's the guys on track that make this league what it is.
It definitely is, and what a wonderful job you do at well, creating all of this and organizing all of it. But it is all up to the drivers to give us that heart-pounding action week in and week out. And it's obviously one of my favorite series to watch and drive in and commentate on.
Yeah, we need you back on track some more.
Hey, I believe I'm going to be a little bit of both this season. So
good deal, good to hear.
Yeah, love always racing with you, especially when I'm ahead of you. But you know, it's biased with me.
Yeah.
But before we let you go, Stevie, and you know, settle down and get ready for 2022 season 2 in the spring. Anybody you want to thank, shout out throughout all this season, and any highlights of last season?
We got to thank Race Voice for the league. I mean, they've been with us for over a year. They make it possible to broadcast every week. So huge shout out to Steve Spano and Race Voice guys. And besides that, like I said, the guys on track every week. Shout out to them for keep coming back and making it. And, of course, Apex Racing TV, awesome broadcast every week. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. You have yourself a good afternoon and a giant glass of water, because I definitely feel like you're sweating a little bit after that one.
Yeah. A cold adult beverage is sitting here waiting for me.
All right. Well, you have a good afternoon, and congrats on a fantastic season. And we'll see you next season here on Sundays on Apex Racing TV. Thank you, everybody who's joined us here for the Formula V and SRF Weekend Warriors runoffs here at Sebring at Apex Racing TV. It was absolutely a wonderful experience having everybody here in chat and on track. 2 amazing races came all the way down to the line, and everybody here, we were having a great time in the booth, on track, and in YouTube chat and the Facebook chat as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I've been joined by Adam Hatfield and Jonathan Grabowski in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.